It's a 50th anniversary celebration, so we're enjoying ourselves. So with no further ado, I'll have Jim take the podium and start our second part of the program.
That's premature. I might be lousy. Just an interesting tidbit that has nothing to do with my talk, but a former president brought in a news article about the Olmsted Group celebrating its 20th year. Tickets cost $65 per person. So we're giving you a real bargain here this evening. As we are all aware, much of the news nowadays is bad. It's driven by bad people doing bad things. Some of these people are even documented, as in documented gang members. Apparently, if you do enough bad things, someone somewhere totes them up, fills out a form, and you become documented. Well, this evening we're going to turn the tables. We're going to talk about and honor some very good people who have done some very good things. How refreshing is that? We've even filled out a form, actually a bunch of forms, to the best of our ability, and toted up many of the good things that they have done over the last 50 years, both for the Olmsted Society, but most importantly, we think for the village of Riverside. It's an impressive list, and they are an impressive group right here. Each and every one of them has done more for the village of Riverside, some in varying capacities, than most of the people that have ever lived here. They are the 21 documented past presidents of the Frederick Law Olmsted Society of Riverside. Right here. I'm going to run through the years and the various things, not everything, it's an abridged list, but I'd ask you to hold your applause for each of them until we've documented each of them. So, formed in 1968, our first president was Robert Frederick. He's now deceased. But he led the effort to establish the Olmsted Society with an initial membership of 23 residents. And the mission statement at that time was, and it's pretty close to, still is, to promote, preserve, educate, and encourage citizen participation in activities concerning Riverside's heritage. Robert spearheaded the drive to establish Riverside as a National Historic Landmark. I mean, he did just about everything to get us that designation. It's almost single-handed. He launched the first house walk, the first tours, the first lectures. And he wrote and published the pamphlet that we have here, although not enough of them, called Riverside, A Village in a Park. Still great reading. Holds up very well. We have quite a number of them that we've salvaged, and we're going to be giving them away to anybody that wants one. Unfortunately, we don't have enough of them here this evening, but we'll have them, I hope, at the museum and the library for anyone that wants one. So Robert was with us as president from 68 to 70. In 1971, the presidency went to George L. Wilson, also now deceased. He continued all of Mr. Heydrich's initiatives and also a policy of all subsequent presidents to the best of their ability. He was also the first chairperson of what was hoped would be an annual Olmsted Day in Riverside, which ran successfully for some years. In 1972 to 74, the president was William Miller, also deceased. He established the first book donations of what became the Olmsted Collection at the library. He launched the Olmsted Society newsletter. He established and awarded an Olmsted Society Landscape Architecture Scholarship Grant of $500. He led the Society's fight in opposing high-rise housing in Riverside Lawn. We've been fighting over Riverside Lawn for many years. And he grew the Society to 165 members. In 1975-76, the presidency went to James Zidlicki Jr. James is here this evening, I believe. Raise your hand, James. There he is. Give him a clap. Right here. Yeah, we've got a little present for each of the people that are here. So my wife Sandy will present them. James spearheaded the Society's participation in the Riverside Centennial Celebration by running the Village Fair and the Old Timers Weekend. He led the drive whereby, this one I love, he led the drive whereby 1/3 of the village residents donated $1,075 to the U.S. Treasury to help alleviate the national debt. God bless you. God bless you, James. Oh, I'm sure we'd all love to hear that story, yes. In 1977-78, Wendell Gisa Sr., also deceased now, established the first formal scheduled walking tours. As previous to that, they were kind of catch as catch can. And he led the efforts to open and staff the Riverside Historical Museum. That's the interesting thing about the Olmsted Society is some of our current commissions and entities sort of started with the Olmsted Society, at least were pushed along. I mean, so, you know, it's just a great organization. In 1979, presidency went to Sandra Benetka. Now Sandra Benetka Higgins. Sandra lives in London now. She sent us an email, though. She said she was sorry she couldn't come. She's a very important art curator, historian. She's done some fantastic work in London. She's meeting with a customer from Beirut now. That's why she couldn't be here. But she wrote some very nice things about her time in Riverside. I won't read the whole thing. I won't read any of it, actually. It's too long. But, it shows you the kind of people that were in the Olmsted Society and certainly in the president of the Olmsted Society that became president. In 1980-81, Michael Gates was the president. Michael is here, I believe. There he is. Michael initiated the first floss attendance at village board meetings. We've done that off and on down through the years. We haven't done that lately. We need someone on our team that wants to sit in the board meetings and harangue the people in charge now and then. Actually, we don't need to do that now. They're good people. He established the Landscape Workdays and Chili in the Swamp Festival. Most of you remember. Ran for a number of years very successfully. A lot of fun for everyone. He donated $1,500 for village tree plantings. So from the beginning, you know, they've been looking out for the plantings in the village, donating money. I believe it adds up to over $60,000 over the 50 years, so very nice. In 1982, 1983, John Kunka was our president. He's deceased, not too long ago, unfortunately. He achieved formal tax-exempt status for the Olmsted Society. We are a 501c3. Yay! He established a research function, long-range planning, goal setting, and resident planting input, assisting residents with their local plantings. He grew the society to 500 members And he chaired a house walk, Prairie on the River. In 1984, 1985, John Kohler was president. He is here. I see him. John donated a computer for newsletter preparation and activities tracking. He participated with the Historical Commission in village-wide architectural survey. He provided cash awards for art and essay school contests. We've been doing it for a long time. He donated $6,000 for Parkway wood chip mulching. He led the opposition to Riverside Lawn dike proposal. There's Riverside Lawn again. We're still fighting over that. He initiated the Floss Board visits to other Olmsted projects. Thank you, John. Actually, all these people did a lot more, but as I say, I abridged it, okay? In 1986, the president was Paul Marhol. Paul is here, I believe. There he is. Under his leadership, the society prepared and submitted a plan for the restoration of Swan Pond. Yep, 1986. Successfully lobbied the village for preservation easement program for protection of original Olmsted lots. Thank you very much. We needed that. And he chaired a house walk right here in Riverside, WRIGHT. In 1987-88, Dr. Theodore Smith was president. He is here. Dr. Ted. He received the 85th Illinois General Assembly Commendation for the Olmsted Society's Riverside preservation work. He obtained a copy of the John Stewart Sargent Olmsted portrait from the Biltmore estate, which we have a copy of right here. He lobbied successfully for the village to not sell off lots in Harrington Park for commercial development. I don't know, maybe you younger folks don't remember that, big fight over that. He protested the village board decision to suspend new plantings in village parks. We don't know why they suspended them. He participated in a Des Plaines River study. He chaired a house walk, Villa in Silvis. And he grew the society to 700 members. That was about our upper limit right there. In 1989, 1991, Dorothy Schroeder is president. She oversaw the Landscape Advisory Commission creation. Plenty of Floss input went into the establishment of the Landscape Advisory Commission of today. She supported the adoption of the Riverside Village Preservation Ordinance. She had the formal dedication of the library's Olmsted collection. She initiated the Adopt a Tree program in cooperation with the village. She created a housewalk procedure manual. And she chaired a house walk, the Riverside Long Common. Thank you, Dorothy. In 1992-94, Nancy DeLeese was president. She is deceased. She initiated the 50-50 tree planting program with the village. She held a $2,000 prize contest for the street most in need of new parkway plantings. She monitored the village's master plan for improvements in 5 of our parks. And she chaired a house walk on the banks of the Des Plaines, where she lives, by the way. In 1995-97, Jane Kunka was our president. There she is. Under Jane's leadership, the Society donated $9,000 to the library for better displaying the Olmsted collection. She prepared a guide for self-guided tours and arranged for the library and the museum to distribute it. She donated funds for the nature garden at Blythe Park School. She lobbied for saving an original Riverside cobblestone gutter in Harrington Park. I don't know how many of you have ever seen that, but there is an original cobblestone gutter there. It's fun to see. And she chaired a house walk, Olmsted's Riverside, then and now. Thank you, Jane. In 1998 through 2000, Lonnie Satchi was our president. Lonnie couldn't make it this evening. Under his leadership, the Society donated $2,500 for the Township Hall clock restoration. Many of the older and even the younger Society members are quite proud of that. $2,500 to keep that, to actually get that clock back operational. But I think equally important, the Society donated $2,000 for the reading garden at Central School. The Society sponsored a forestry internship to assist the village forester. And under Lonnie's leadership, the Society established the Floss website. Under Lonnie's leadership, they lobbied to place the new North Water Tower in North Riverside. And Lonnie chaired 2 house walks, Riverside in the Jazz Age and Right Around Riverside. In 2001, 2002, Joseph Kablick was the president. Joe is in Florida right now in the warmth. The Society donated $12,500 for plants and planting projects during his stewardship, and offered $10,500 matching grant to the village for landscape maintenance, which the village turned down, citing budget constraints. The Society conducted the first Hauser student walking tour, which we've had periodically ever since. It's a lot of fun. The Society donated $5,000 for water tower restoration. I would assume, that's grown over the years, so, there's probably a little nest egg there to start things off, hopefully. Then Joe chaired a house walk, Early Riverside, restored, renewed, revealed. In 2003 to 2005, Constance Guardi was our president. She's here. She's the one that talked me into doing this speech, by the way. You don't say no to Connie. So. Under her leadership, the Society donated $8,000 to the village for plant materials. Donated $2,000 for zoo and Wabansie Woods management. Partnered with and awarded the RB Ecology Club $1,000 in landscape materials and for the purchase of a weather station. Participated in the U.S. Corps of Engineers study on the Hoffman Dam removal project. Established a long-range plan. Held a special tour for new residents. We should do that more often. Conducted a member survey revealing that the goals of the Society should be village and landmark preservation and proper zoning. And she chaired a house walk, Maplewood Road, the river, the road, the Rockefellers. In 2006 to 2008, the president was James Reynolds. James is here. James achieved Harrington Park official designation as a park by the village board. Took a while, but it finally happened. The society donated $5,000 towards a new library irrigation system. Launched Reflections on Riverside, the school poetry contest with cash prizes. Grew the Olmsted collection to 720 volumes, of which 117 are rare. Proposed a green approach to the village to save energy and costs. Gave away 4th of July float native plants to parade goers. And chaired 2 house walks, Riverside Rejuvenated and the Arts and Crafts Influence on the House and Garden. Thank you, Jim. In 2009 to 2011, our president was Kim Jacobs. Kim is here. Kim, along with Aberdeen, March Osga, spearheaded the arcade building inclusion in Illinois' list of most endangered buildings. Initiated the Olmsted Spirit Award for community enhancement activities. Initiated periodic floss open meetings. Continued input to the Hoffman Dam removal project. We've been inputting a long time. Promoted improved community outreach with floss participation in Chamber of Commerce, car shows, cruise night, and farmers market. And chaired a house walk from Babson to Baltus. Thank you, Kim. In 2012 to 2014, our president, you've already seen him, is Dr. Timothy Osga. He launched the Frederick Law Olmsted in Riverside Education and Design Symposium, otherwise known as FRED. He established Facebook, Twitter, and PayPal presence, and our newsletter goes to mostly online folks now. He established Planters on Parade and a perennial plant divide swap. He donated $2,000 for Village Park trees, a Triangle Park planting initiative, and controlled burn supplies. He joined Visit Oak Park and conducted special tours for the Chicago Metropolitan Society of Planning and Concierge Day and the Right Ride, the bicycle ride. Floss was named the Illinois Invasive Species Volunteer of the Year. And he chaired 2 house walks, homework and sustainability then and now. Yay! And we come now to Mr. Robert.
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
Many of these so-called singular people were in fact elected during a period of time when their spouses were also considered board directors in facto. And
yes,
with a single exception, perhaps of Jane Kuka, we can't honor the other. But I think we ought to have a standing round of applause for the spouses of many of these people with a for the Kunkas.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that as soon as I finish, which is very soon. Very soon I'll be finished. And then we can all stand up, stretch, and have a raffle. I know that's what everybody's waiting for anyways. In 2015 to 17, Robert Dixon was president. Was president. I don't know. Rob likes beer, I can tell you that. He initiated and expanded Hopstop, the Hopstop Craft Beer Festival, along with Riverside Foods. He established Riverside as a designated arboretum. Now, when I say he did that, you know, right. A lot of this stuff, you know, was done by, you know, the people in Floss under the leadership of, see, that's how that works. And when things go bad, he takes the blame. When things go good, he takes the credit. So that's how it works. Got us included in the PBS program, 10 Towns That Changed America. Wonderful. We could have done a better job, but they did okay. Participated in the RBTV video on YouTube documentary on the Olmsted Society and Riverside. It's really well done by a sophomore at RB. Donated equipment to the village to aid in workdays and plantings. Participated in the Garlic Mustard Challenge with the RB Day of Service. Held special walking tours for the Riverside Arts Weekend and the Right Plus House Walk. Planted 25 of the planned 50 trees in Indian Gardens as part of the preliminary activity for the Floss 50th anniversary celebration in 2018. And also oversaw the creation of the Golden Swan and the life-size Olmsted portrait that you see back here. Did it all by himself, And he held special lectures and tours associated with the Swan Pond Restoration Project. So thank you, Bob. Now, as Dr. Ted said, this concludes our list of documented heroes, okay? Please let's give them a well-deserved round of applause, and their spouses. Another question?
I just want to ask
Question.
people if
You
they.
need to speak up. Do you wish to say something or no?
Well, I just want to ask people about just doing that petition against the Olmsted group, you know, for the Olmsted Library in Jackson Park.
Okay. So there's a question raised about the presidential library in Jackson Park, but I would say that, you know, one thing about that, just to comment on that, we were consulted to provide input into the Obama Presidential Library in Jackson Park. There's a very active group in Hyde Park that was concerned mostly about the parking garage, which was to occupy a space in an Olmsted Park. And we worked closely with the Hyde Park Citizens Group to connect them to the National Association of Olmsted Parks and other landscape design professionals who were also very concerned about the placement of the parking garage there. And they succeeded in having an alternate design presented. It may not be ideal, but it's certainly better than what was initially planned. So.
About the roads, too. They want to do the roads, too.
Well, you know, it's a little outside the purview of the Olmsted Society in some ways to comment on that community's responsibility for the presence of their Olmsted parks.
300 trees that are 100 years old.
They have lost many mature trees there. It's sad. And it's kind of a call to all of us in Riverside to think about the resources we have locally and how important it is, the work of our past presidents and what we have going forward to protect. So I don't know if there's other comments on Jim's presentation or people have any remembrances. Are you still going, Jim?
I'm pretty much
Keep going.
pretty much done. I just, there's going to be a raffle after this, but I would just like to say, and then there'll be refreshments. But we hope the evening concludes, we've documented all these people now, so, you know, they're official. But we hope the evening concludes with some documented renewals of membership and perhaps some documented new members of the Olmsted Society. Thank you.